me a review and let me know like if you like it with this mic or just the regular iPhone camera mic. But I thought I would just like read some like little articles or something, or like things about like self-improvement, because I don't really know what to talk about, and I've been really in the mood to like read something, and I really want to do like a whispering video because I love whispering. So I looked up a couple of articles, and it gave me like a long list, and I think I'm just gonna go down the list because I believe they're like pretty brief. I believe they're like pretty brief. So I'm gonna just like pick some, and then we'll just like keep reviewing. Maybe we'll do like a couple, you know. I think one that I really want to read right now. I'm on my iPad, by the way. I really want to read the Maslow's hierarchy one. Hold on, here. It's Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. I thought this was super interesting because I think if people applied the hierarchy of needs to their everyday life, it would help them essentially self-improve. Like, it would help them to like give them the steps of what they need and what they're looking for next. Like, it's not like a roadmap for real, but like it's a guideline, you know. So I'm gonna just read the intro, and then it'll explain what the hierarchy of needs is, so I don't have to do like a little recap. So, human beings are simple creatures. We like order, we like to create it, we like to follow it, and most of all, we like to organize our lives around it. Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory attempts to do just that. In this article, I'm going to dive into this famous motivational theory, exploring each of the five tiers. The five tiers of Maslow's pyramid of needs. The three categories of which these needs sit within. The difference between deficiency needs and the growth needs, as well as looking into common criticisms of Maslow's hierarchy. I really like that they're gonna add some of the criticisms, because everything, like, a theory is not proven. A theory is not proven. A theory is not proven. AKA gravity is a theory. It's not proven. We don't understand everything about it yet. So it's good to be like objective and find what type of biases, or like what type of like holes there are in these theories, you know. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory was proposed by American psychologist Abraham Maslow in his 1943 paper of A Theory of Human Motivation. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a motivational theory that states that humans are motivated by a distinct set of needs placed on an upward trajectory. Maslow placed these needs into five distinct tiers, namely psychological needs, safety and security needs, love and belonging needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. I'll go more into depth on each of these needs later in this article, but for now, a key understanding to Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory is to look below at the image of Maslow's pyramid. I'm gonna show you guys the pyramid so you guys can know what I'm talking about. This is the pyramid. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first pyramid, which is the bottom of the pyramid, or first level of the pyramid, is psychological needs, or physiological needs. That's my bad. Food, water, warmth, and rest. So basically, like shelter. I'm having a hard time trying to read and pronounce things right now, but it's essentially like shelter, or like having somewhere safe to go. Safety needs is the second one, which is the green level of the pyramid, which is security and safety. Belonging belongingness and love needs, which is intimate relationships. Oh. I'm gonna have to cut that out. Excuse me. I'm gonna have to cut that out too. Which is belongingness and love needs, which is intimate relationships and friends. That's the third level of the pyramid. The fourth level of the pyramid is esteem needs, prestige, and feeling of accomplishment. And the top level of the pyramid is self-actualization, achieving one's full potential and including creative activities. So, I'm gonna. Oh my god, it's also sitting up there. I have to. Um, so, the first two levels, which is physiological needs and safety needs, those are basic needs. The belongingness and love needs and esteem needs are psychological needs. And the last one, which is self-actualization, that is self-fulfillment needs. So, as you can see, Maslow's hierarchy of needs consists of the five aforementioned needs, as well as three categories in which these needs sit. The two bottom tiers, physiological and safety and security needs, are within the basic needs category. The next two tiers, love and belongingness and esteem needs, are within psychological needs category. And finally, the top tier, self-actualization, is in the self-fulfillment needs category. Within the basic needs and psychological needs category, there are deficiency needs, which are needs that you are deprived of and need to gain in order to move up Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Within the self-fulfillment needs category, there are growth needs, which, as the name suggests, are needs that allow you to grow as a human being. This is to say, these needs are hierarchical in nature, while later updates to Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory stated that it is not strictly necessary for a person to fulfill all their physiological needs before moving on to their safety and security needs, or even before jumping 2 tiers to their love and belonging needs. Maslow's original hierarchy of needs theory, and a generalized reading of theory nowadays, states that the whole Maslow's pyramid must be completed from bottom up, focusing on fulfilling more basic needs before moving on to your physiological, or before moving on to your psychological and self-fulfillment needs. So essentially that paragraph is saying that, wow, like, it's not strictly necessary to go from bottom to top in like that order, in ascending order. It is essentially recommended by like the original theory of Maslow's hierarchy. It's recommended that you fulfill like your shelter and safety first before like trying to find a boyfriend or whatever, or trying to get married, or trying to jump ahead to like feeling accomplished, which like I feel like most people would agree with, but some people do jump around like in their self-improvement journey like that. As we've already discussed, Maslow's hierarchy of needs consists of needs in 5 distinct tiers, with these tiers then fitting into 3 different categories. When reading about each of these needs below, keep in mind that certain activities can cross hierarchical boundaries. Maslow's hierarchy of needs examples in real life include, for example, if your family were to move from living in a slum that was open to the elements to a room within an apartment building, this would hit numerous physiological needs, which is warmth, shelter, and rest, both of the key safety and security needs, and potentially even a love and belonging need, which is for like intimate relationships. If it was your partner who made this happen for your family. Another example of Maslow's hierarchy of needs crossing hierarchical boundaries is that of a meal spent with family and friends and family members. In this example, you are you in this example, you experience the physiological need of having food to eat while also experiencing love and belonging, needs associated with having good relationships and friends. Without further ado, here's a brief description of each tier in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, starting from the bottom and working up. Safety and security needs. Your safety and security needs will likely be different depending on where you live. As noted in one of the examples above, if you are living in an unsafe environment, the need for physical safety and security is primal. If you already live in a physically safe environment, then this need will likely focus on your financial security. Do you have a job? Are you saving for retirement? Do you have adequate insurance, etc.? Of course, just as you move up Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid from one tier to the next, you can move up within an individual tier. So, in the above examples, you move from an unsafe environment to a safe environment. You are now in the position to focus less on your physical security and more on your financial security. Love and belonging needs, also known as social needs. Love and belonging needs encompass everything from the need to be in an intimate, loving relationship, to the need to have strong friendships, to the need to have family close ties. Essentially, Maslow's love and belonging needs boil down to our need to be loved and accepted by the people around us. While this need isn't as primal as the need for food or shelter, we need to experience feelings of love and belonging in order to thrive in this world and to stave off feelings of anxiety, depression, and loneliness. While I completely agree, I feel like that is a need that is not necessarily hard to come by, but it's hard to capture because it's pretty elusive. I feel like it's almost looking for a sense of fulfillment outside of yourself, which I think can lead to a sense of being unhappy when you're single. But I understand people do get lonely and people are human and social. I think this is approaching that stance from a purely physiological nature of humans. Humans are social creatures and they have to participate with other humans and animals to feel okay. But I feel like nowadays the way we define healthy relationships and relationships that are worth I don't want to say it weird. That are worth being a part of. It's usually based off of strict guidelines of what's healthy and what's not. And I feel like it can get kind of confusing because I think that places unreasonable expectation that there is a level of health that everybody is trying to reach, and you should only find people that have already met that level of health. But being young or even being old, I don't think it really makes a difference. That level of health isn't unattainable, but it's a consistent journey and not a destination. So I think it just needs to be researched more, to be honest, the way relationships progress nowadays, especially because marriage rates and everything is changing. Even monogamy in relationships is becoming a lot more debatable. And so I think it's just something interesting that needs to be further investigated to get a better understanding of who and what you should look for, or what type of relationships you should stand for, what type of relationships you shouldn't stand for. I think ultimately it all depends on what you want and your personal goals. But as a society, we are, like I said, social creatures. So I think most people like to agree on what type of relationships are okay. So you're not a social pariah or anything, or people will do things to keep up an image, or I think it just needs to be discussed more. I think people should be more open about how relationships especially at any point in their lives, whether they're having a good time or a bad time. I think everybody needs some type of support from a good, stable friend, and I think friendships are also getting hard to like come by. Like a stable, good, healthy friendship is also difficult to come by nowadays, especially because what you're willing to accept isn't always what's best for you, and what you want isn't always what's best for you, which is a hard realization for everyone. But self-actualization needs. What is the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? According to Abraham Maslow, the highest need is self-actualization. Needs in its simplest form. Self-actualized people are those who are living up to their fullest potential. What this means for you will likely be entirely different to what it means for someone else. But so long as we're living our best life, we can say we are fulfilling our self-actualization needs. It's likely that your core values are what will determine your self-actualization needs. But in general, they necessitate that you use your talents to the fullest. You become who you are destined to be. Okay, and these are the criticisms. Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory hasn't been without criticism. The chief among Maslow's addressed and agreed with in later interpretations of his theory, namely that in the order in which individuals work their way up the hierarchy is not rigid. As noted earlier in the article, certain activities can cross hierarchical boundaries, hitting a need present under the physiological needs tier, while also hitting a need present under the love and belonging tier. For example, criticism of Maslow's needs theory state that, in similar vein, it is possible for individuals to experience needs from a higher tier without having all their needs in lower tiers met. For example, your esteem needs may be met because you have confidence in yourself and your personal worth, and you know that your friends and family have the same confidence in you, but right now you don't have enough food on the table, so you don't have your basic needs met. I think that's fair to say. That's the end of the article, by the way. I think that's pretty fair to say that, like, it's not a rigid, like, progression from year to year. I think it's almost ridiculous to put that type of expectation on people, which is one of the criticisms. And Maslow himself apparently has agreed that that is not what he was aiming to convey. But personally, like, where I would put myself within the hierarchy right now, I would say I am looking to fulfill more self-actualization and belongingness and love needs. I'd say what self-actualization for me would look like would be traveling and being a philanthropist and doing research or some type of science work, or like contributing greatly to my community. I think that's what self-actualization would look like for me. And but like I would love to like travel the world and help as many people as possible. Even if I'm not able to travel the world, I would still like to do that. But I would like to move abroad someday, because I just love going to different places and experiencing different cultures. So I'd like to move abroad. I'm not like set on any type of destination. I just know that I would like to go maybe to Asia, but I'm also open to like moving around and like relocating. And belongingness and love needs, I feel like that's like a need that can't ever be completely like satisfied. Like I don't feel like any of these needs can really be satisfied other than maybe like having food and water and feeling safe in a safe environment. there's nothing someone else can do for you that you can't do for yourself. And I think that's very important to remember. Yeah, it's a rant that I could go on forever. Let me know if you guys want to hear it. I have to write some things down and really think about it and think about like how I want to say it. But as far as like esteem needs, I feel like I have I've never felt like I necessarily struggled with esteem. Like, I mean, everybody struggles with it at some point, and everybody feels insecure, regardless of how you look or like who you are. Like, I'm sure Beyonce has felt insecure multiple times in her life. It's just innate. It's just part of your human experience. I think I have gotten to a point, at least the point I'm at right now. I am pretty comfortable with who I am, regardless of what happens around me. And I feel like I believe in myself wholeheartedly, and it's not like something I was like born with, but like it wasn't something I severely struggled with either. I think everything just takes work, and it has to be intentional. Like, things don't just come by you by chance, which like some things do, but loving yourself isn't one of them. And I think we could do like a video on like self-love and like how to do that and how to be like more self-aware. I'll write that down. But yeah, as far as like these topics, I could really like split off into like a bunch of different rants based on like different needs. But this video is already almost like 30 minutes, and so I don't want to run it too long. But I think I'm gonna wrap this up, and maybe we'll read some other articles like next time, because there's some other ones. Let's see if I can have you guys like vote for one. Let's see. Oh, the bystander effect. I think I really want to read that one. That is really interesting to me, especially because I feel like the bystander effect has been getting worse since we have phones and we're becoming like desensitized, and like it's hard to distinguish reality from fake when you see something like on a phone or anything. So I think that would be an interesting article to go over. The psychology the psychology behind how to break bad habits. I think that would be interesting. You see my guy, but I really want to go like a self-improvement way, because that's really important to me. I enjoy improving myself any way I can. It's also really good for you. How to no, not that one. How to deal with passive-aggressive people. I think that would be also really helpful for someone. And why impatience is a virtue. I think that would be interesting on the reasons why it is a virtue, because I know one time I was like banging on the door at my job, like trying to get into the office because it had a code to it. And there was someone in there, they just weren't answering the door, and my other manager, who was outside with me, turned to me and said, "Autumn, patience is a virtue." And I was like, he's right, maybe I should relax, like maybe I should chill, but I actually need to go grocery shopping, and I need to get my life together, so I think I'm gonna cut this video off here. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys